In this episode I will gently remove the subframe, I will cut some metal, I will weld a little bit, and I will fix one floor panel. So the front axle is down, and now I finally have enough room here at the back, work on the rust spots again. So yeah, that's it. And as you can see, at some point I need to clean it a little because it has some dirt spots like everywhere. So the first thing, I started to clean up these oily spots. And then I started to clean around this fuel line. At least the line should be somewhere hidden under the dirt. And then I got this crazy idea that I will clean up this whole subframe, but then I realized it's a work for a week, so yeah, I just left it and I start welding rather. So now I am creating some paper templates for recreate some metal parts, but it's better to create these templates. I am creating it from carton paper. I'm using this very precious material, which is a box which was holding cakes. And yeah, I have it, 10 of them, so it's brilliant usage for these templates. So let's see how it fits. So here we are on the passenger side. Here's the chassis leg, and as you can see there is missing something because I already grinded it off, this part, and I still will need to grind more here to get all the rust part away. And as I already showed, I created this template, so this is the place where I will use it. It will be like this. Maybe you can see it better like this. It will be here, and I will replace it with a new fresh metal, so it will hold better than just a rust. Now I will just replicate that carton part from a metal. And I will of course create another parts which I need from metal to restore that rusty pieces. And I painted the sides of metal, which I knew that I will have no access later on. And it's welding time. a little bit of grinding, and welding again. After all that welding and grinding, there was a time to put a primer on this part to save it from the rust in the future. And here you can see another home fabricated part. It's for the fuel hoses, so it goes from fuel filter and the engine through here to the fuel tank. So fitment is good, so I can now take it and put a primer on it. So here we are in this prestigious paint booth. So let's paint the new part. And because the part which I fabricated will be then later on in a way when it will be installed, I decided to put a sealant now to the places where I will not have access later on. So next step which I need to do is to fabricate here a reinforcement, because the original one was not there at all. I didn't found the reinforcement panel which is with this type of holes. This looks like this, but the thickness of it is as required, so I will just use this one. And yeah, here I will create the shape which it should have, and as well I will recreate this part which should continue here and here, so I will just try to replicate that. So the next thing I'm doing is this black piece which sits nicely now, which is a surprise. I just need to cut a weld which I did here, because actually this part needs to go a little bit up due to this part needs to be aligned, and I did a weld this part because initially there was a patch, so I didn't know the exact measurements of this part, so I need to do a cut, but that's just a small thing which needs to be fixed. And here, yeah, this is how it looks like from this side, so it needs to be out here, and as well here it's aligned almost. It's not fully aligned, but yeah, it's fixed here, so I can do a few welds here and at the bottom to get a fixed position, and then I can work on the next part. Okay, so I prepared this nice sheet of metal which will go somewhere here like this. It's of course still not fit here, it needs some love, and I will finalize the shape that I will weld it here at the bottom and then hammer this part the right shape. So yeah, some progress done. And since I will have no access to this back part of this metal piece once it is welded on the car, this part, so I will just, yeah, thread it a little bit with anti-rust and then paint it in this nice paint booth. So until this new metal part fabricated, which will slightly at least reassemble the original one. Now it's just resting after paint, so during the time I will work on this part, another metal part of the floor, which actually goes in here like this. Here you have the front metal piece, and this goes here like that, and then it should go like this. So I will just take a look on that, where I can fix it. Most probably here, which is a solid piece, which is not rusted at least, so I can fix it there. So that's the next part I will do. So here it is. So progress so far is that I have already finished this section, this outer section without this piece. I still need to do that, and this section, let's say partially, as you can see, yeah, it goes somewhere. So what was my idea or plan is that I want to have this shape or these dimensions fixed. So I just do this rectangle and fix points here, there, there, and there. So when I will now cut this part, and I can change the floor, so I will not lose the dimension, because if I will not have, let's say, this outer and this inner reinforcement fixed together, and I will just cut this, it can happen that it will just, you know, lose the dimension. So I rather did it this way, because initially I was planning that I will do the whole floor, but it was more difficult to somehow start because the rust was everywhere, and yeah, somehow I need to fix the dimensions, and this was for me the best solution. Okay, so let's move forward. At first I was very optimistic that I can take the part from the floor which I need manually, but then I changed my mind. So I finally start to test fit this floor panel. After a couple of adjustments, it fits quite well. I need now to drill holes in it so I can spot weld it on a place then. But before I will do that, I will remove it, and I will put some anti-corrosion film underneath to protect these parts which were already done, and they will be covered, and I will have no access to them anymore. So I just primed all the welds, and now I will continue and prime the whole new panel so it will not rust again. Actually, this one wasn't rusted yet, but so this car will not rust again. Now I will apply some sealant. And here is the result after sealant applied on all the here it's still missing, but yeah, I will add it probably now. But yeah, so sealant is applied. Here is not applied because I still need to do these few welds, but I need to do some tricks. I need to push it from underneath, so it will be, so there will be no space. So yeah, but now I will just wait until it dries, and then I will apply a primer on the sealant as well. So it's the next day, and yeah, I put another layer of primer on the sealant, and this is the final result. And actually that's the end for this episode.